In this regard, matters related to cybersecurity and the use of advanced digital technology also deserve most serious deliberation within the UN. It is important to hear and appreciate the concerns of people over the protection of their rights, such as the right to privacy, property, and security in the new era. We must learn to use new technologies for the benefit of humankind, to seek for a right balance between encouraging the development of artificial intelligence and justifiable restrictions to limit it, and work together towards a consensus in the field of regulation that would avert potential threats in terms of both military and technological security, as well as traditions, law, and the morals of human communication. I would like to point out that during the pandemic, doctors, volunteers, and citizens of various countries have been showing us examples of mutual assistance and support, and such solidarity defies borders. Many countries have also been helping each other selflessly and open-heartedly. However, there have been cases showing the deficit of humanity and, if you will, kindness in the relations at the official interstate level. We believe that the UN's prestige could strengthen and enhance the role of the humanitarian or human component in multilateral and bilateral relations, namely in people-to-people and youth exchanges, cultural ties, social and educational programs, as well as cooperation in sports, science, technology, environment, and health protection. As to healthcare, just like in economy, we now need to remove as many as possible of the obstacles to partner relations. Our country has been actively contributing to global and regional counter-COVID-19 efforts, providing assistance to most affected states, both bilaterally and within multilateral formats. In so doing, we first of all take into account the central coordinating role of the World Health Organization, which is part of the UN system. We believe it is essential to qualitatively strengthen the WHO's capability. This work has already begun, and Russia is genuinely motivated to engage in it. Building on the scientific, industrial, and clinical experience of its doctors, Russia has promptly developed a range of testing systems and medicines to detect and treat the coronavirus, as well as registering the world's first vaccine, Sputnik V. I would like to reiterate that we are completely open to partner relations and willing to cooperate. In this context, we are proposing to hold an online high-level conference shortly for countries interested in cooperation in the development of anti-coronavirus vaccines. We are ready to share our experience and continue cooperating with all states and international entities, including in supplying the Russian vaccine, which has proved reliable, safe, and effective to other countries. Russia is sure that all capacities of the global pharmaceutical industry need to be employed so as to provide free access to vaccination for the population of all states in the foreseeable future. A dangerous virus can affect anyone. The coronavirus has struck the staff of the United Nations, its headquarters, and regional structures just like everyone else. Russia is ready to provide the UN with all the necessary qualified assistance. In particular, we are offering to provide our vaccine free of charge for the voluntary vaccination of the staff of the UN and its offices. We have received requests from our UN colleagues in this respect, and we will respond to these. There are other critical items on the UN's agenda. The issues of both environmental protection and climate change should remain the focus of joint efforts. The specialised multilateral UN conventions, treaties and protocols have proved fully relevant. We are calling on all states to comply with them in good faith, particularly in working to achieve the objectives of the Paris Agreement. Dear colleagues, I would like to underline again that Russia will make every effort to contribute to peaceful, political and diplomatic resolution of regional crises and conflicts, as well as to ensuring strategic stability. For all the disputes and differences, at times misunderstanding and even distrust on the part of some colleagues, we will consistently advance constructive, uniting initiatives, first of all in arms control, and strengthening the treaty regimes existing in this area. These include the prohibition of chemical, biological, and toxic weapons. The issue of primary importance that should and must be promptly dealt with is, of course, the extension of the Russia-US Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty, which will expire shortly in February 2021. We are engaged in negotiations with our US partners on the matter. We also expect that mutual restraint would be exercised with regard to deploying new missile systems. I would like to add that as early as last year, and I emphasise this, Russia declared a moratorium on deploying ground-launched medium and long-range missiles in Europe and other regions, as long as the United States of America also refrain from such actions. Unfortunately, we have not received any reaction to our proposal from either our US partners or their allies. I believe that such reciprocal steps on specific issues would provide a sound basis for launching a serious, profound dialogue on the entire range of factors affecting strategic stability. It would aim at achieving comprehensive arrangements, shaping a solid foundation for the international security architecture that would build on prior experience in this field and in line with both the existing and future political, military and technological realia. In particular, Russia is promoting an initiative to sign a binding agreement between all the leading space powers that would provide for the prohibition of the placement of weapons in outer space or the threat or use of force against outer space objects. We are well aware of the fact that security issues, as well as other problems discussed by this Jubilee UN General Assembly, call for consolidated efforts on the basis of values that unite us, our shared memory of the lessons of history, and the spirit of alliance which guided the anti-Hitler coalition participants, who found it possible to rise above differences and ideological preferences for the sake of victory and peace for all nations on the earth. In the current challenging environment, it is important for all countries to show political will, wisdom and foresight. The permanent members of the UN Security Council, those powers that for 75 years now have been bearing particular responsibility for international peace and security, the preservation of the foundations of international law, should take the lead here. Fully realising this responsibility, Russia has suggested convening a G5 summit. It would aim at reaffirming the key principles of behaviour in international affairs, elaborating ways to effectively address today's most burning issues. It is encouraging that our partners have supported the initiative. We expect to hold such a summit in person as soon as epidemiological situation would make it possible. I would like to reiterate that in an interrelated, interdependent world, amid the whirlpool of international developments, we need to work together, drawing on the principles and norms of international law enshrined in the UN Charter. This is the only way for us to carry out the paramount mission of our organisation and provide a decent life for present and future generations. I wish all the peoples of our planet peace and well-being. Thank you.